Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the second day of the Singapore Fintech Festival. Nearly 70,000 people in attendance. And joining me for this segment, we have Andrew Lee. He's the CEO of FOMO MASTERNODE, also the Where's Waldo of the cryptocurrency world. Andrew, it's finally great to catch up with you in Singapore. And let's talk about all the players, all the regions in crypto, starting off with your outlook on it.
Sure. My outlook on Bitcoin is, the crypto markets in general are very bullish. And so when you look at the metrics, fundamentally they're very sound. So let's look at blockchain crypto wallets. They're at all-time highs now at 45 million. Confirmed crypto transactions are 300,000 plus per day. We're also looking at all-time highs for hash rates for Bitcoin. And in terms of the cost for transacting, for sending across Bitcoin across the world, they're all-time lows. And so when you look at these things, fundamentally, they're very sound. But at the same time, comparing these metrics versus like mature incumbents like Visa, MasterCard, they have 4.5 billion current cardholders. And so when you compare the 45 million to that 4.5 billion, that's 100 times opportunity that we're seeing. And so looking at crypto prices right now, Bitcoin is currently around $10,000 per Bitcoin. Applying that 100-time multiple will bring it to $1 million very easily. And so I believe we can see this in the next 10, 20 years as Bitcoin and crypto markets mature, just like the incumbents have.
Yeah, well, let's talk about traditional Wall Street, M&A and IPO activity, because there's always this narrative. There is a lot of pushback with institutional adoption, but behind the scenes, there is activity taking place. Yeah,
there's so much. My background on Wall Street has made me very keen in terms of what's happening in this space. And so, first we had ICOs, similar to IPOs. With all that cash, companies have operating companies, they've gone bankrupt, some have been very successful. And so with that, the success stories we're seeing M&A acquisitions. And so Binance, Coinbase acquiring Neutrino and Zappos, Circle acquiring Poloniex, and recently selling it off to a Chinese consortium. So on the M&A front, we're seeing that. On the IPO front, it's very interesting because we're seeing Canaan Creative. They're going to be doing a $400 million IPO off the Nasdaq very shortly. Bitmain has applied for a US IPO as well. And we're seeing crypto-friendly banks such as Silvergate also apply for an IPO off the New York Stock Exchange. So these are recent occurring events, but at the same time, we're seeing more traditional folks and these themes spill over to crypto, and I think it's very exciting.
All right, moving on to the next thing.
Sure.
Familiar Silicon Valley names are finally entering the space.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There are companies like Reserve Stablecoin, Ample Fortune, which they're backed by Sam Altman, Peter Thiel. Just recently in San Francisco, during San Francisco Blockchain Week, I was just there literally last week, Jack Dorsey supports a company called CoinList. And so CoinList is Naval's AngelList crypto subsidiary, and they raised $10 million in a Series A round. These things have not happened before in the past, and they're finally starting to happen. And so when we look at the next kind of wave in terms of crypto pricing and in terms of the markets, I believe we're going to see a massive altcoin cycle, just like we saw in 2017. But I think this time around it's going to be a lot more massive, and it's going to be driven largely by companies backed by a lot of these traditional players and also these Silicon Valley folks that have made a very good name for themselves over the last decades.
Are you concerned about the proliferation of exchanges and the fragmentation within the cryptocurrency market? Because that kind of is a hurdle, that there's too much out there.
Definitely, yeah. That's a great point. Korea right now, 97% of the exchanges currently, they'll be bankrupt. There are no regulations in place right now in Korea that require a license or a permit to actually operate exchanges in Korea. That's why you see hundreds of exchanges popping out of nowhere. A lot of the concerns are basically being addressed by Hong Kong. Just recently, they announced rules and regulations to basically help investors, to help safeguard against fraud, against hacks, basically financial losses. These are regulations and frameworks that are needed in the space right now. We're seeing that in Japan, we're seeing that in Hong Kong, and we're actually starting to see that with President Xi's announcement just recently that blockchain is going to be the next big best thing. So while Korea doesn't have these regulatory frameworks in place with regard to exchanges, the fact that they're actually lax is also another benefit as well. So agree with the fact that we need more of these regulations, and we're seeing them being implemented as we speak.
All right, Andrew, great to catch up with you as always. Thanks
for
joining us.
Thank you, Jill. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.